So 1 month ago, when President Macron was elected, we were all very anxious that he wouldn't get this majority in Parliament. Do things look different now?
Yes. First of all, he's getting the majority. And I think we were anxious because we weren't paying attention. But at the time, we were saying he was coming with the revenge of the Enlightenment, respect for people and ideas that we don't see in the UK, that we don't see in the US. But he also has what Sir Isaiah Berlin called the sense of reality. And he and his team realized very early that there was a reality after the presidential elections, and that's the legislative elections. And that's what we've just seen. And consequently, they were getting ready for it way before we were starting to think about it.
Are we seeing a major shift with the socialists, the governing socialists, decimated, and the National Front that might not even get a group in Parliament?
You know, if Trump and Theresa May weren't messing up so badly in their own countries and grabbing all the headlines, people would be saying this is a new French revolution. This is a very, very big deal. And it also represents a power shift both within France and between France and the rest of the world. A power shift within France because not only the socialists, but also the National Front is dead. And the right, the traditional right, which thinks of itself as the governing party, actually doesn't know now whether it's in opposition or whether it's in support of Macron.
Very different, obviously, from the results of the UK elections last week that resulted in this hung parliament, even though Theresa May is trying to find some coalition. Do you see a shift of power away from the US and the UK and more towards France and Germany?
There's never been a time in our lives when the United States and the United Kingdom were less legitimate and less authoritative in world affairs. It's absolutely extraordinary. Now, that creates a big vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. The fact is that Macron's arrival in France is what the French are always waiting for, what they call l'homme providentiel, a national savior. And if he hadn't come along, we would have had one of the old, mediocre establishment politicians in office, and everybody would be very unhappy. Or it could have been the National Front. But under the circumstances, with both the revenge of the Enlightenment and his sense of reality, he is going to be able to reform France in a way that everybody's been waiting for the last 20 years.
You're also a specialist of transatlantic relations. What's your take so far on Macron's first month and the diplomatic relations with Donald Trump?
Well, I think he realized as soon as he was elected that he had the upper hand. And so he went to Berlin. He cemented a very close, very quick relationship with Angela Merkel. And it looks like she's going to win the legislative elections in Germany in September. So that French-German couple will go on for quite some time. Another thing to be conscious of is that there are no more elections in this country for a while. The Senate elections in September go through an electoral college process. But then there are no municipal or departmental or regional elections for several years.